want to begin by giving you a breakdown of how you performed in your previous exam. Out of 65 students, we had only 3 A's, 8 B's, 29 C's, 21 D's, and 4 E's. 4. Kwa hivyo watu wanne walitolewa pumzi ndio umeambiwa. Those who want to say that CRE and DC are subjects. If you look at that performance, your mean is only 5.47. And you've been told that at some point the mean in this school was at around 8, meaning that you are playing slightly above, isn't it? So what makes it difficult for you to get an A in CRE, yet you say it is an easy subject? There are 4 reasons that you have identified. Reason number 1 is lack of revision. Lack of what? Revision. Why is that happening? It's happening because you think that you know. You have listened to many sermons, you have watched a movie about Jesus, so you assume that you know the story about Jesus from the end, from the beginning to the end. I think when you were in Form 3, I gave you the story about David and Goliath, isn't it? Especially Form 3 North, wale walikuwa. Told you that I said to Goliath, now ikirushwa, enough. Goliath akaniambia, I am strong enough. Now you have read the story about what happened, isn't it? So, if you don't bend, the same fate that befell on Goliath will befall on you. History will be written that you failed in. So how are you going to bend? You need to read. You have been told to stop over-relying on the revision books. Make use of the Bible. Make use of the KLB, the course book. Why is that important? You need content. Look at the type of questions that we give to you. Explain, discuss. But what do? You outline in every question, isn't it? And you expect marks. Where do you get the marks when you have not followed instructions? So we expect you to revise hard and make use of those books that you are telling. There's a reason as to why the government has made efforts to print that book and not to give you the revision book. Because for you to pass in humanities, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to read widely from different sources so that you can enrich your content. If you look at the exams that you are marking there, as every question, unafanya kwa karatasi nyingi kama hizi. So question 1 part A, B and C. Unafika hapa, hii ni part 2, 3, 4, then you skip the other one. Unamaliza unalala. After first student, unangoja KCSE, unalala kwa mtihani. Na mtihani ya form 1 and you are busy there telling them that you're in form 4. There are so many gaps that are in between that you need to fill. Therefore, the limited time that you have, term 2 and term 3, please make good use of that. Number 2, we have found that you have poor participation in your learning. Poor participation in learning. So what do you mean by that? You mean that in class, majority of you are passive learners. You don't ask questions and you do not want to answer questions. So the teacher will ask a question and the teacher will give what? The answer, isn't it? So who is learning? Is it the teacher or the student? It's the student. One of them, the mother. That is what you do. And that is what we need to change. Because if you are not asking questions, it means that you have not been reading. You don't know the problem areas that you can ask for clarification. Number 3, your attitude towards CRE. It is true that you can pass in CRE. It is true that it can be an easy subject. But it is also true that you can fail in CRE, depending on how you approach it. So if you give CRE a casual approach, that I already know these things. Remember, these are social science. You need to understand the Bible. You need to understand the problems in the society and how you can use the Bible to address those problems. So don't assume that you know. A good student will be humble enough to listen to the teacher and get what the teacher was coming to teach. But when you assume that you already know, the teacher will spend 40 minutes and your mind will not be in the class, and the 40 minutes will be basically a waste of time. Are we together? So we expect you to have the right attitude. Treat CRE as any other subject. It is not a sermon, it is a lesson. A lesson is meant to give you knowledge. Are we together? So these areas in your work. Then number 4, you find that you are not reading the Bible. Failure to read the Bible. Why are we insisting that you need to read the Bible? And in your reading of the Bible, be specific. If you are revising from 2 work, which book are you supposed to read? St. Luke's Gospel. So at this level, since you are waiting for your national examination, be faithful to St. Luke's Gospel. Not saying that you cannot read the other Gospels, but for the sake of avoiding contradictions or giving details that are maybe in Matthew and not in St. Luke's Gospel, stick to St. Luke's Gospel. After the exam, go and read the other Gospels. It's good to get what Mark and Matthew said, but for this case, be faithful to St. Luke's Gospel. Then, which books are you supposed to read when you are revising from 2 work? There are 3 prophets, isn't it? Read those books, if possible, the entire story, because it is a continuation. What Amos was teaching is continued in Jeremiah and completed in Nehemiah, isn't it? Amos gave them the warnings like to Jeremiah, and the destruction that Amos was speaking about was done during the time of Jeremiah. Then Nehemiah restored the community. So the continuity is very important. Then you read the books in Form 1. Genesis, which other book? Exodus. And where do you get the stories about Binah? Samuel and Kings, very good. So pay attention to that. Make use of those books. They will be important in our own division. And above all, we need you to be careful. We need you to avoid anything that can distract your knowledge at this point. At this point, be faithful to the books. Make your books your best friend. You will have time to do anything else after school. So those are the 4 main areas that we want you to pay attention and take heed on what you have said. Thank you.